Welcome back to BeanGaming. We have the Friday update. I know I'm a day late. I was so tired yesterday. The week just dragged on and I needed a little bit of a break. But we're back at it now and we should be good to go. So, what was yesterday's update? Yesterday's update was really nothing much at all. All they did was, and I can't even verify this, but from my understanding is if you go in the shop and you're trying to finish your season pass, is that these pirate treasure and these pirate gems are 25% off. I don't know if that's actually true. I don't know what the original prices were, so I couldn't even tell you one way or the other. But that was really kind of it. The other thing, before I actually forget, is let's go over here to the calendar, the changelog. Notice that there's not even an update for the 22nd. But for me, if I scroll all the way to the end here, let's grab that golden dragon right over there. And now I reset back to 30 days. But I have another golden dragon, which is kind of cool. Alright, what else is going on? What's on everyone else's mind, I'm going to change subjects really quick here, is another game that people oftentimes play besides World Defenders is Toilet Tower Defense. And Toilet Tower Defense is down right now. Is it down and out? We don't know. I've heard a bunch of different things, so I really don't know. I have no insider information or anything like that. But one of the people that I did talk to said that there might have been some kind of copyright issue. And so if there's a copyright issue, then to me it seems like a few different things need to happen in order for the game to continue. Probably the towers need to change, they need to be renamed, or maybe they need to be redesigned so that they're not using the exact same towers that show up in the videos. But again, I don't know. I don't have any inside information. All I know is that I was about to go play it yesterday, and I'm looking around, I'm like, hang on a second, where did it go? And that was it. Like, is it gone for good? I really don't know. I wouldn't think so, but if there's a copyright issue and all those towers need to be changed, it's going to take some time for that to happen. I mean, trying to design towers in and of itself is quite a bit of a challenge, depending on how large of a software team that you have or that you're working with. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I do know that there was supposed to be a giant update coming very soon based on the number of likes that game had, and we're just waiting to see one way or the other what is actually happening. So I guess stay tuned for that. We'll see and just kind of have to wait, find out what's going on. The other thing for this game, back to World Defenders, is that there's only 7 days left to get this brand new tower that was just posted yesterday. So, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that with only 7 days left. I guess it's not that big of a deal, but here's what's interesting. Let's read what we have going on over here, the infinite reward for September. So you know that any player in a top 10 position when the timer is up will receive, and here's the name of the tower, the Gem Blaster Tower Reward. The design looks really cool, actually, and you can take a look. Looks like we have some gems up here, some gems over here. Looks like some kind of face on his chest, and then looks like a diamond shape up top here. We have diamonds for the knees, and overall just kind of looks like a cool tower. But here's the issue that I have. I'm not upset that it's coming out 7 days before September ends. When I go over and I take a look at it, I'm not going to do this because I don't want to be dropped back in a public server, but when I took a look yesterday, I hopped in to Shadow Realm and I took a look at the infinite leaderboard. You know, when you go inside a game or when you spawn or load up into a game, how it shows you can pick whatever map you want. So let's say if I go over to Egypt and I go on the little entrance button here and it teleports me and it brings up all the different maps, and you have story mode and you have infinite mode. Well, if you click on infinite mode, the leaderboards have not been reset from the time that the bug happened. And if you've been playing World Defenders for some time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So there is a bug that came out right after the Web Widow was distributed to all the players who won. And what ended up happening with that bug was that all the levels stayed the exact same. So it was on like the easiest level ever. And even though the waves increase and increase and increase, the difficulty of the enemies didn't change at all, or it changed very little. So therefore, when you take a look at the infinite leaderboards for any of these maps, but specifically I'll talk about Shadow Realm since that's the one that sticks out in my mind right now, the top player reached like wave 300 and something. And there's no way that that happens. And even more specifically, I was chatting with that player himself, so I know that he was like, we should have a competition, we should, and I'm not going to say his name, but shout out to him. I don't even think he plays the game anymore. In fact, I think he actually got banned. But I don't know what he did to get banned. But he said we should have a competition to see how far we can get. I'm like, okay, that's cool, we can. And I knew my towers were better than his, but then after wave 200, I realized, hang on, I'm not getting anywhere here. I'm just gonna quit because there's no rhyme or reason to. I figured that the developers would end up resetting the leaderboards because that's just some kind of gigantic bug that I don't know why they would keep the leaderboards the way they were. And so now they released this new tower for an infinite leaderboard for September with only 7 days left, and the leaderboards are the exact same as they were before. I am going to try and get on the leaderboards, but I don't think, well, I don't know if I can make it on Shadow Realm, because you have that guy who's over 300, and I think the lowest one is at wave 200. I could be wrong, and I'm not even going to check, but I think it's about 205, because I stopped playing at 200, and I know that I got beat out by it. And I'm like, well, okay, it's not the player's fault that they're on there. They were just taking advantage of that bug that was going on, but should we be rewarding people for a bug? I don't know. So that's why I thought we were midway through September, and I was like, all right, well, there's no infinite tower, because players were asking me, Bean, is there going to be a new infinite reward tower? And I'm like, I don't think so, because, I mean, if you take a look, we're all the way midway through September, and I haven't heard anything, plus the leaderboards are broke, or the maps were broken, so I don't see how we could. And now, apparently, there actually is going to be a tower for September. I'll try and get, maybe I am on some of the leaderboards, I don't know, it's been such a long time. I might have tried playing them in the beginning of September, but I'll try and get on a couple leaderboards, that way I can get that new gem tower, or that gem, yeah, what was his name again? I forgot what his name was, I don't know, that new gem tower. I'll try and get it, and we'll see what happens there. I don't know, but what are your thoughts about that? Do you think they should have reset the leaderboards so that other players could, try and get on the leaderboard like we normally do? Or are you okay with them leaving it the way it is? I mean, we might have players that have never even had a chance to get on the leaderboard. I mean, they might actually be on there, but at the same time, it's not really how we're used to getting on the leaderboard. We usually have someone, look at this, I keep missing, I'm embarrassing myself. It's usually people who end up, getting on the leaderboard legitly, and now this time it's actually not going to happen. So what do you think about that? Is that fair? Is that not fair? Are you okay with it? Are you not okay with it? I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? I'll try and get on a leaderboard and see what happens, but I'm not really sure. Some other things that are coming up, which I think are pretty cool. The Halloween event, that should be probably released, I would assume. Again, I have no idea. I don't have any insider information, but I would assume it's going to be released right after the season pass is done with this event here. And I think the season pass was a pretty good success, if you ask me. But the Halloween event is coming up right after this, so we're all going to get ready for that, which I think is cool. Let's go ahead and clam our playtime gift right over here. And I'm really looking forward to that. In addition to that, we have coming out relatively soon here, and it just so happens to work out very nicely, but a little bit of a plug for The House. That's the new tower defense game that the developers of this game, of World Defenders, they've been working on quite a bit. There's a teaser trailer, and if I remember, I'll put that link in the description. They posted it on Twitter, and I took a look at it, and it does have like a Halloween theme to it, kind of. I shouldn't say Halloween, like a spooky theme, like a haunted house theme, essentially. And it looks like they made a lot of cool towers for that. And you go to, the whole synopsis is you go to different floors and defeat these enemies on a track tower style basis. And it does look cool. So when it comes out, which by the way, I don't think I mentioned it, it comes out on Friday, October 13th. Friday the 13th. Like I said, that's why I think it's cool that it just so happened to work out to be a Friday the 13th in October, Halloween month. So I think that we're all really looking forward to that. And that should be pretty cool. And since that's a Friday, what's interesting is that not only is that coming out on a Friday, but typically we get updates from this game on a Friday. So that's going to be a huge Friday that a lot of things are going to be dropping. So you definitely want to go check that game out and see how it is if you like it. I would assume that it's going to be pretty cool because I think these developers actually do a really nice job with World Defenders. I haven't played a ton of tower games, but I will say that the tower games that I have played, including Toilet Tower Defense, I think that World Defenders is head over heels. Just the design, the layouts of things, the different towers that are being used. You can probably say, well, you're a content creator for this game, you're being biased. Maybe, but it's my personal opinion with just from playing those two games a lot that the developers of this game actually do a pretty good job. I know one of the downfalls for this game is the amount of bugs that it has. Those are going to happen in any game regardless, and it just, I wish it didn't happen. I wish there weren't as many bugs as there were, but at the same time, overall, if you take a look at everything and take everything into consideration, I think that what they do for this particular game is really good. Speaking of bugs, I do want to bring up I have seen this happen 4 times now, and I don't have an answer, I just have some hypotheses or some suggestions from other players. But when you go in the marketplace, I have done some trades with players. I was the middleman for some players, and the last time I was a middleman, what ended up happening, and I know this is true, so don't think that, oh, you got scammed, or the players got scammed, or they're lying to you. They're not, because I've been working with these players for quite a bit. It's not the first time they used me as a middleman. But they ended up trading a Kraken for, I think it was a Radiant. That was the trade. And I was the middleman. I received the towers, and then each player picked up his particular tower, and it didn't show up in their inventory. And I'm not talking about hours after it happened. As soon as the players picked up their tower from me, and I did them separately, so they each got their tower. It's not like they were picking up their towers at the same time. As soon as the second player got his tower, he looked in his inventory and he didn't have, I think he ended up getting the Kraken, or was supposed to get the Kraken. He didn't have it. And I said, send me a screenshot. And this literally was right away. There was no other players in the marketplace. It was just him. So there's no way he could transfer it to an alternate account because he was literally in the marketplace with me live at the same time that this occurred. So he gave me a screenshot of his inventory, specifically with the word Kraken on there. So he did a search. So we come over here to inventory, and if I type in Kraken, just KR, you see it shows up. That's exactly what he did. Sent me a screenshot of it right away, and it didn't show up. So I'm like, what the heck happened? And the same thing was true with the other player. Now, I can't verify the other player because I didn't ask, but I can at least verify with this particular player I was working with, and it didn't show up. So I posted that in the on the Discord under the help section. I said, hey, did anyone else experience this? And there was another player that posted and said, yep, that happened to me. I ended up buying some towers, and I didn't get them in my inventory. So his suggestion was maybe World Defenders was doing a rollback or something like that, where they ended up, if you don't know what a rollback is, it's basically you try and restore the game at an earlier point in time when the bug didn't exist. And that's what a rollback is. And so he suggested that maybe that's what happened, and that's why he lost his towers, and that's why maybe these players didn't get their towers. So I don't know. That could have been another suggestion from another player, was that maybe the Roblox saving system went down. And I had no idea that was even a thing. And if that is a thing, then that also is possible. Maybe Roblox tried to save it, and maybe that these transactions occurred so fast that Roblox couldn't keep up with it. I don't know. So maybe that's another possibility right over there. So in the meantime, I think I'm going to withdraw my name from the middleman hat because I don't want to see players lose their towers at all. And that just, I guess that's just a downfall of the marketplace that we have here. And I thought about it more and more. I mean, what does everyone think about the marketplace? Overall, if everything worked fine, I don't think it's a bad idea, because you get players that have an opportunity to pick up towers they normally wouldn't have. Yes, some of the OP towers, they cost a lot of money. Players are charging and even overcharging in certain scenarios. So that's a little bit of an issue there. I wish that we had more of a trading system where instead of a marketplace, those of you that have played Toilet Tower Defense know exactly what I'm talking about, and even in games like Pet Simulator X, where you can initiate a trade. A little trade app shows up, or a screen shows up, where you can see what towers you're trading and what towers you're receiving. I think if we incorporated something like that in World Defenders, that this is my personal opinion, that I think that would be way better than a marketplace. The nice thing about a marketplace, though, is that you can see what towers are available. So I don't know, is there some kind of way we can merge those two things? I'm not really sure. I don't have the answer for that, but I wish that there's a better way to handle this marketplace stuff than players potentially not receiving their particular tower. One of the downfalls of the marketplace turned out to be players trading, and as everyone should know by now, since it's been out for quite some time, when players trade, you could potentially have a player who's not honest about the trade, and so people have lost towers, they've got scammed for it. We've mentioned this multiple times already, but that's a side effect of this marketplace. And that's an unfortunate thing, because players are going to continue to trade, and dishonest people are continually taking advantage of that. So even though it's really not part of the game, that's a side effect of the game, and I think that we need to pay careful attention to that and try and work those kinks out so that that doesn't happen, which is why my suggestion for that little trading app, or that have a trade button on here where you can trade like in Pet Simulator X and even Toilet Tower Defense, I think that needs to happen. And that way we don't have to worry about people trying to take towers from other people and not reciprocating that back and just taking the towers and leaving the game. So, personal opinion right over there. What else do we have? We have the Halloween update coming up. We talked about that. We have the house being released on Friday the 13th. In addition to that, if you go check out the World Defenders Discord, if you go check out the house Discord, then they're giving away, I don't remember offhand, I should have wrote this down. I'll put the splash screen up, or I'll throw the little information up here in a moment. When I'm editing my video. But I believe if you retweet, and I think that since Twitter's not called Twitter anymore, I think they got rid of the word retweet. I think it's repost now. But if you repost that particular announcement and you like the game on the Discord, go read the Discord for the specific directions. But if you do that, then you're supposed to get a specific hero tower, or maybe it's a hero skin, when the game launches on Friday the 13th. So go check that out. You can get a free hero. that's probably a skin, like we have our champions over here. You go to your profile, load up the champions, you get one of these guys. That's probably what a hero is in that game. So start off the game with a cool hero, I guess. I don't know, and they didn't even tell us what kind of hero you're going to get, but that's kind of what's out there. Alright. I think that's really it for today. I don't want to get into any gameplay. Just wanted to share some announcements with everyone and make sure that you know that we're still here, and look over here. We're going to go ahead and clam another Playtime gift. The bucks over here. And while we're in the Playtime store, actually, there's nothing new, but I did have questions of, do you think the Golden Hydra is going to show up in the Playtime store? I don't know if it's going to. It would seem like it potentially would be, but we still have the Golden Hydra available right over here to buy. So once this goes away, then it's very possible, or I should say it's likely, that it's going to be in there. The other question that I commonly hear is back over here on the main level is, when are the Hydras going away? That I don't know. from my information that I was told, is that they're going to go away in 6 days when the event ends. But then another question came up, is that if you go over here to the challenges, and I believe it's, let's see, achievements, and we go over here to hard, some people are not getting that 5th Hydra showing up over here. That happened to me as well. I don't know what I did in order to fix that, but I do have all 5 Hydra now, and they does show up properly. But the question is, well, hang on, if the Hydra chest is going away in 6 days now when the event ends, then why are we getting 500 pirate gems when we're not even going to need them anymore? That's a great question. I don't know. And in fact, I don't know if you could still... You know what? I have no idea. I really don't. You'll at least get the 1000 XP, which is really good. I mean, that's a lot. But if you do have the 5 Hydra here, Red Reef, Tiki, Coral, Skeletal, and Aqua, if you have all 5 of those, you should be good to go. Which, by the way, I do have a free roll here. I've been getting some Red Reefs, I got a Skeletal, I got a couple Tiki. I've never gotten a Coral on a free roll. I'm not going to get it now, there's no way. I'll probably get everyone's famous Aqua Hydra, right? Yeah, Aqua Hydra here. So that's a bummer. I have a ton of those. Let's see, how many do I have here in inventory? Aqua, if I can spell properly, I have 23. So if you need an Aqua Hydra, let me know. I'll give it away for the minimum amount of 100 coins or 100 gems. I don't need these guys. It's a nice tower. We did a showcase on it. But the other thing that is out right now is the Ghost Ship. If you click on him, you can buy him for 2,000 pirate gems. So you do need to convert over here. I'm not going to get any more pirate gems. You can see how much I have. I'm not even going to use them because I have no use for them, essentially. But what I think I was wrong about last week, and I didn't even see it because I think I placed him down in my showcase where my other towers are doing a bunch of damage. I believe this tower does AoE or some kind of splash damage. It doesn't even... Let me see if it says it in inventory here, under the description. So there's the Ghost Ship. Skeleton Pirates man the Ghost Ship. Lasting foes, that's ethereal cannons. Yeah, it doesn't even mention anything about AoE or splash damage. They used to do that a while ago when you looked at the description. It also used to show how much each of these towers cost to upgrade the different levels. They don't do that anymore, and I really wish they would put that back in there. That was so helpful. Now you have to go in the game and figure out, okay, what's the first placement cost and all the way up into T5, the tier 5 cost for it. So I wish that was on there. That was so helpful. And like I said, I wish somewhere on the screen here or right above the tower picture, it would say what kind of damage it does. Is it DPS damage? Is it AoE damage? When you take a look at, let me see, was it Ra? No, I can't remember how to spell his name. It was, oh, it was a god, wasn't it? Oh, it was RA. It's just Ra over here. This one has, what does he have? He has solar beams. And I think he was also kind of AoE, where solar beams went through all the different towers. Same thing with the Sekhmet god. He does poison damage, but I wish it would specifically say over here, because are we talking poison just for one enemy or multiple enemies? No, this guy was multiple enemies. And then here's the tidal wave, Sobek. He's the one that had that tidal wave. That was, again, AoE damage, essentially, that his damage affected multiple enemies at the same time. So maybe, I don't know if one of the developers is listening, maybe we can incorporate that somehow in either the description or as part of the picture up here where it says, hey, this is an AoE tower or this is a DPS tower. That would be extremely helpful, I think, for a bunch of players. Anything else going on in World Defenders? I don't know. I think that's kind of about it. So this week, there's not really much to all these updates, but at the same time, or not much at all with the update, but at the same time, we're looking forward to the Halloween event coming up relatively soon here. But either way, that kind of wraps things up for today. So, if you did enjoy this video, this informational video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!